Jaya Gopi Jana Balaba Girivanadari Jaya Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Bala Girivanadari Jaya Gopi Jana Bala Girivanadari Jaya Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajakacharya Asatara Sisi Mother's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Couldn't find them, huh? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 11, Text 34, Calculation of Time from the Atom. I've started this trip May 5th. We've been living in Vrindavan for the last 5 years, and since I started this trip, I'm on my 4th pair of reading glasses. I broke 2 and lost 1. And now I don't know where I left the other ones upstairs, but I'll try to read this. Yadardam ayusastasya paradam abhidiyate purva parado pakranto hiya parodaya pravarte yadadaram ayusastasya paradam abhidiyate purva paradu pakranto yaparodya pravartate yadardam ayusastasya paradam abhidiyate purva parado pakranto yaparodaya parvatate This is good. Okay. Tasya paradam abudiyate purva parado pakranto yaparo dadya partate. Ladies? Yadardam ayusastasya paradam abhidiyate purva parado pakranto yaparodya pravartate yadardam ayusastasya paradam abhidiyate yadardam ayusastasya paradam abhidiyate purva parado pakranto yaparo jad pravartate. Synonyms. Yat, that which. Ardam, half. Ayusaha, of the duration of life. Tasya, his. Paradam, aparada. Abhidiyate is called. Purvaha, the former. Para-ardaha, half of the duration of life. Apakrantaha, having passed. He, certainly. Aparaha, the latter. Adya, in this millennium. Pravartate, shall begin. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The 100 years of Brahma's life are divided into two parts, the first half and the second half. The first half of the duration of Brahma's life is already over, and the second half is now current. Purport. The duration of 100 years in the life of Brahma has already been discussed in many places in this work, and it is described in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 17 also. 50 years of the life of Brahma are already over, and 50 years are yet to be completed. Then, for a Brahma, also, death is inevitable. Omagena timirandasya gyananjana salakaya chaksulan militam jena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayarupakadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam Panchakopa Turubhischa Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasri Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So first I'd like to say it's very nice to be here. Last time I was here was 15 years ago. It's been 15 years since I was able to come to Bhaktivedanta Manor. Of course, before that I lived in this area, right in Bushy, next door, from 2003 to 2010. And since then been to a few different places. Now my wife and I, we live in Vrindavan for the last 5 years. So, as everything Srila Prabhupada did, very nice verse and purport by Srila Prabhupada expressing duration of time. And even Lord Brahma, time of death will come. Described here, Prabhupada says in the purport. He's also, death is inevitable. Of course, as some of you know, I traveled with Srila Prabhupada for some time. And he made this very, very clear time and time again in his classes. He always stressed the fact, death is close. I remember back in those days, we had so many expressions, so many little different mantras we would say. One of the things Prabhupada would say, if you're 50 years old, you've been dying for 50 years. Everything approaching death. I found one of the most amazing things Prabhupada did, and it was after I was with him in Vrindavan, Krishna Balaram Mandir. And there was a young girl, she was like 13 years old, and she went there with her mother to die. 13-year-old girl, she was going there to die. I forget what the disease was, but there was no cure for it. So her mother took her to Vrindavan. So, of course, they got the chance to see Srila Prabhupada. I know that chance very well, going to see Srila Prabhupada, hoping to get some mercy, some compassion. Never sentiment. Prabhupada didn't have sentiment. Compassion. Very, very much compassion. And they went there together. And the mother told Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, everyone's going to die today or tomorrow. Imagine, just a young girl. He said, you're very fortunate. He said, all your time you spend chanting Hare Krishna. And he kept emphasizing that. Death is going to come any day. Remember our god brother, Jayananda. He had, I believe it was cancer. He was going to die. He was young. And Prabhupada says in a letter, better give up this body. It's not working anymore. Just give it up. Because for the devotee, there's no death. This life you serve Krishna, next life you serve Guru and Krishna. Same thing goes on. Devotee's not concerned. 1975, a very famous morning walk. Some of you may be familiar with it. Morning walk in Mayapur. What was it famous for? Anyone know? What I'm getting to? World War III. That was a famous morning walk in Mayapur where Prabhupada said, soon there will be a war. Oh, the devotees surrounding him as we were walking along the rice paddies. In between the different sections, there's always a little spot you can walk. Prabhupada would walk on that area and the devotees are all trying to follow in the different spots around him. As soon as they heard that, walk was just going on. People, everyone, hands in their bead bags, chanting. Prabhupada also at times chanting on the morning walk, chanting japa, sometimes quiet, sometimes speaking. Soon there will be a war. Oh, everyone got so stressed. He said, how would it start? World War III. Between India and Pakistan. Between India and Pakistan. Just last month, right? There was a little flare up there. Even in Vrindavan, the devotees living in Vrindavan. What do we do? What do we do? What are we going to do? Something's going to happen. Soon there'll be nuclear bombs. Everyone immediately gets an anxiety. So Prabhupada, as he's walking, devotees start asking questions. And of course, Prabhupada said, after the war, preaching would be very good. Then everyone, we say, I remember as a child, I grew up after World War II, born a few years after. There was a saying was, what, there are no atheists in foxholes. You all know what foxholes are, right? That's where the soldiers down underground, the foxhole. No atheist in foxholes. When death is imminent, oh, everyone's praying. Everyone begins to pray. Devotees were all praying. Prabhupada said preaching would be very good. And of course he said they would flock to the farms by the millions. These farms were developing, hopefully more and more in our ISKCON society. I see them growing at this point in different places now. Went to some very nice farms in New Govardhan. Outside Sydney, Australia, there was a farm. New Govardhan up in Queensland, Australia. Of course, New Vrindavan, we went there. It's growing more and more. Beautiful place. New Mayapur has their... We don't grow so many vegetables and things on the farms, but the farms are there. Prabhupada said preaching would be very good because then people understand death is imminent. Anytime, even your Lord Brahma, anytime death will be there. So then he could see the devotees getting in so much anxiety, asking questions. What do we do about this? What do we do about this? And finally he just looked up in the sky. He said, if the bomb's coming, say, here comes Krishna. Here comes Krishna. Devotee sees Krishna in everything. Prabhupada said the sky's blue, reflecting Krishna's effulgence. That's why the sky is blue. He smelt the flower while I would massage him at night. Night Queen, jasmine. The jasmine scent comes in the evening time. He said, this is Krishna. Everything. We hear Krishna's sound in his name. We see Krishna even in the sky. We smell Krishna with our nose, the fragrance of Krishna in the flowers. Everything. Devotee sees Krishna in all of his senses. So he said, no anxiety. Here comes Krishna. Bomb is coming. Also Krishna. I was with Prabhupada for a long time. Here, right here where he would speak. I was always on this side, sitting on the floor there. Sit down, take his cane. I would give him his glasses. Fortunately, I never lost his glasses while I was with him. Open up the Bhagavatam, everything. Personal service, huh? Such a thing, personal service. I was sitting there in Los Angeles, 1973. I had been with him for a few months. 1973, I was 22 years old. And Prabhupada was speaking. Some of you may hear, he said it different times, different places, and similar ways, same way. Now what time is it? Oh, look at that, just 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock and 5 seconds. Even if you have millions of dollars, you can't buy that time back. Once that second passes by, you can never get it back. I'm sitting there, I've been living in the temple 2 years. He said it, and I'm thinking, imagine, nonsense, rascal. I'm thinking, we're eternal. The second goes by, all we have is more seconds. All we have is time. We're eternal. Why is he stressing like that? You can't get that time back again. Thinking we go on forever. This body, next body, next body. I didn't understand it. That was 1973. It was about 25 years later. I was in the process of writing a little book I wrote, What is the Difficulty? And I was remembering 1996, 97, Grahasta, living an hour away from a temple, working, supporting my family. Not much Krishna consciousness. Huh? If you get your rounds chanted, you did good in Grihasta life. You know, if you manage to do that before you go off to work, come back, dried up. And somehow or other, the internet helped. I started writing these stories about Srila Prabhupada. I went on internet in those days. There was no Facebook, none of those things. In the US, we had AOL, America Online. That was the internet, America Online. And I saw this thing. It said Prabhupada Katha. I thought, oh, wonderful. I got on there, and all they did was argue. All they were doing. It wasn't any Prabhupada Katha. It was philosophy. One's arguing Ritvik philosophy, Narayan Maharaj philosophy, Sridharma, everything but Katha about Srila Prabhupada. I became disappointed. And I found some letters that I had, when I first became his servant, way back from Kartik 1972. I was with Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan. And I would write these letters and send them to Kaladri in New Vrindavan, because that was one of the deals. Kirtanananda gave me to Srila Prabhupada to become his servant. Just gave me to him. And he said, tell us what Prabhupada's doing. Write us, you tell us. He gave me a picture, photograph of Radha Vrindavan Chandra. You put it on Prabhupada's desk everywhere he goes, so he remembers Radha Vrindavan Chandra from New Vrindavan. So I did all those things. But I became his servant. It was so exciting. Everything he did, every word he said was wonderful. I would write, today Prabhupada did this. Today Brahmachari came in the room. He started talking about Mahatma Gandhi. And he said to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, is it true Mahatma Gandhi's last words were Ram, Ram? Prabhupada, his wonderful sense of humor. And I don't know, he said I wasn't there. He didn't even want to deal with it. Prabhupada, where is Sumeru Mountain? It's in the sky. He would say, it's in the sky. Simple, simple. Prabhupada, How do I control my mind when I'm chanting japa? Any of you ever think like that when you're chanting japa? Your mind, how do I control the mind? Prabhupada said, there's no question of mind. You chant with your tongue. He would use his hand. Chant with your tongue. You hear with your ears. Hare Krishna Radha. She was an old friend back here when I was here many years ago. Chant with the tongue, hear with the ears. Now we have japa retreats, right? 1 week retreat, part 1, part 2. Shortest japa retreat ever. Chant with the tongue, hear with the ears, no question of mind. So many complications, how to chant. Just hear. That was Prabhupada's message, just hear. So I started putting just a few sentences, it began. It's how this book began. Never imagined a book. I just put 1 sentence, 2 sentences. Prabhupada said this. Prabhupada said, I was doing Prabhupada Katha every day. And it started to grow and grow. And then I remembered, you can never get that time back. Once it's gone, it's gone. And I thought, Prabhupada left, and he's gone. And I've wasted so much time. You can't get it back. Can't get it back. When he was with us, we traveled with him, his entourage. When I started out, I was with Shyamasundar. Sundar. You all know, if you know the history here, you would know Shyamasundar Prabhu. You all know Shyamasundar Prabhu here. Pradyumna, his Sanskrit editor. We were in New York for Rath Yatra last month. Yes, last month. And of course, went to the Bhakti Center. Whenever Radhanath Maharaj is around, I try to get his association. And he very kindly, he likes to get my association because he knows I'm going to talk about Srila Prabhupada. He always wants to hear about Srila Prabhupada. He sits there. Oh, he listens so well. Doesn't waste any time. Not a moment. If he can hear something about his Guru Maharaj, he's right there. He'll sit there quietly. Imagine. Allow me to speak. So we went in his room. We had a little meeting with him, a little darshan, my wife and I. And Pradyumna, of course, he lives at the Bhakti Center. He was up on the roof. And you never know what Pradyumna's going to do. I went up and saw him. He was funny. I was in dhoti and kurta. When you live in Vrindavan long enough, you just wear dhoti and kurta all the time. It's just what you do. If you don't, you're very out of place. So even when you leave, all right, just put on the dhoti and kurta. You know, you just do it. He had t-shirt and shorts on. He saw me. I have so much respect for him. Here, Prabhupada called him Panditji. When he gave his lecture, Vyas Puja Day, 1973, he said practically Pradyumna has done Chaitanya Charitamrita. And his wife did the transcriptions. Prabhupada's Vyas Puja Day, he was glorifying his disciples, glorifying Panditji, Pradyumna. But he was up on the roof giving Bengali lessons to one person. Shorts and t-shirt. He said, I'm doing Krishna West today. He said, I said, whatever you do, Pradyumna, is fine. You know, he saw me in a dhoti. He got a little bit of, he said, you're wonderful. Whatever you do, you're wonderful. So we went back down to Maharaj. We had the devotee get Pradyumna. So now it was Maharaj, myself, and Pradyumna. And I said to Maharaj, same thing happened 1 year ago. I said, Maharaj, call Shyamasundar. He called up Shama Sundar, who you can never get a hold of Shama Sundar. One ring, he answered the phone. Just like 50 years ago. Such a wonderful devotee, so much enthusiasm, so happy to hear our voices. Oh, we had so much fun for a half hour talking and talking about these old times with Srila Prabhupada. Finished, gone. It'll be 50th anniversary in a few years. Srila Prabhupada's leaving. What's the only solace? You talk about him, you remember the pastimes. Just like Krishna, this is what we do. I say, Govardhan Puja comes along, we read the pastimes. We do it every year. You don't get tired of it. It becomes more relishable. The more you hear, the more you understand, the more you relish it. It's like that with Srila Prabhupada. It's the only way to cure those feelings of separation. All those seconds, minutes, months, years, wasted. Imagine, I was with them 2.5 years, and I left. I thought he'd be here like Lord Brahma till he was 100 years old. No one thought Srila Prabhupada was going to leave at that time. Even in the final months, I just read from Ambarish, we all thought the same thing. He can't leave us. We're just infants in Krishna consciousness. Krishna wouldn't let him leave. He wouldn't take him away. We need him. But then he left, just like that. And then you look back and you think, so much time have I wasted. So much time could have been with him. Just recently in Vrindavan, sometimes me and my godbrother, the temple president, Panchagoda Prabhu, temple president in Vrindavan, 15 years. Before that, he was vice president for almost 10 years. He's been there managing 25 years, not wasting his time, managing Prabhupada's home, Vrindavan. His personal deities, Krishna Balaram, Radha Shama Sundar, Gaur Nitai. Prabhupada designed them. He watched them as they were being carved, installed them, worshipped them, told the devotees everything, what to do, how to take care of the deities, how many preparations to prepare, which preparations at the time of the day, everything personally involved. Somehow or other, I never wanted to live in India. If you read my book, you'll see I say, always sick. Many of us were, but for me, it was such a struggle living in India. I would always say, I don't want to live in India, I want to die in India. Somehow by Krishna's arrangement, by this woman here, my wife, forced me to go live in India. That was Prabhupada's final, maybe not his final little joke on me. Married someone, only wants to live in Vrindavan. I'm living in Vrindavan. Now I'm involved in the temple. I'm involved with the deities. I'm involved with management. Took a long time. But I see Prabhupada's home. And I feel like his deities. The temple room, to me, it's just a giant living room in Prabhupada's home. That's how I see everything. This is how you have to practice Krishna consciousness. Everything personal. Every day we say that mantra. Personalism, voidism. Talking about us, not talking about others. We're devotees. We're wonderful Vaishnavas. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda, Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai. It's us. Everything's personal. Prabhupada would train you up to see everything personal. Flower, personally Krishna. Drink the water, whatever you drink, Krishna, the taste of Krishna. walking in New Dwarka, walking down the stair. Prabhupada walking up the stairs from his morning walk. He sees a bead bag hanging like this. He looked at me. Whose bead bag is crying on the doorknob? A bead bag, how's it going to cry unless it's a person? Very next day, plate of prasadam sitting on the radiator, the heater. He looked at me. What did he say? Who left that prasadam crying there on the table? Personal, everything personal. Japa bag, personal, everything person. Devotee, pure devotee sees Krishna everywhere. He sees the bomb coming, he sees Krishna. Doesn't waste time, he's always with Krishna. Prabhupada was always with Krishna. And when we were sleeping, we were chastised more, I don't know, half a dozen times or more. Prabhupada called me in the room. Where are they? They was the others. Sometimes I was one of them in the entourage. Called me in. I've been ringing this bell for hours. Maybe it was a minute 30 seconds. Like Lord Brahma's time. Hours. 1 second was a year to him. If he had to wait 1 second, you're wasting his time. One point, a good friend of mine, Paramahamsa, he became his secretary. Prabhupada gave him sannyasi in Vrindavan, Kartik, 1972. He was 19 years old, 19-year-old, never even been with a girl, never had a girlfriend, a date, nothing. Due to circumstances, Prabhupada offered him sannyas. So it was almost 2 years later, when he became a sannyas, people were hearing he was getting sannyas. They were upset. Other devotees, brahmacharis, some grahastas, they were getting sannyas, but they had done so much, they thought. They said, he can't even chant slokas, he doesn't know any slokas. Why is he getting sannyas? Prabhupada gave him sannyas because Prabhupada asked him, who are you? He was walking around Radha Damodar temple. No one else is there. They're all just trying to survive, living at Fogala ashram, trying to wash their laundry, trying to be healthy, get something to eat. He said, who's this boy? Big, he's almost 2 meters tall, big round face. Who is he? Prabhupada asked me. I said, I don't know. He said, call him. Came in Prabhupada's room, sitting room in Vrindavan, Radha Damodar temple. Prabhupada said, where are you coming from? I said, oh, we were in South India, me and my godbrother preaching. And Prabhupada said, what are your plans? He could see he was independent. He didn't say, I'm coming from Portland Temple, or we're just traveling. Prabhupada said, what are your plans? He said, well, after we leave here, we're going to Vietnam. Prabhupada's eyes got big. Vietnam? He said, acha, Vietnam. That's like saying you're going to go to Pakistan to preach. Don't want to go to Pakistan. Going to go to Iran and preach. Right? Bombs are falling. Going to the Ukraine to preach. Prabhupada's eyes became big. Vietnam. He said, maybe you should take sannyas. Anyway, it happened. Prabhupada said, you tell Shyamasundar, Sundar, get you your cloth, your bamboo for danda. He went and told Shyamasundar, Sundar, you're not getting sannyas, you're not on the list. He said, no, Prabhupada told me. Shyamasundar found out, Prabhupada told him. Even though he didn't know any shlokas. One of them taking sannyas. He doesn't know any slokas. Why should he get sannyas? Huh? Every brahmachari wanted sannyas back then. 6 months in the movement, you wanted sannyas. They were eating all the mahaprasadam. You were getting chapatis and dal. They're eating mahaprasadam, the sannyasis. Huh? Even then, even back then. He became Prabhupada's secretary. 2 years later, he was in ecstasy, became Prabhupada's secretary. I was Prabhupada's servant still at the time, 2 years later. As soon as I became Prabhupada's servant, you ring the bell, you go in the room, you offer obeisances. He tells you what he wants, you offer obeisances, you left the room. Whatever he wanted, whoever he wanted, you went and got that person. So now Paramahamsa's secretary, first day as secretary. Prabhupada rings the bell, I go in, offer obeisances. Prabhupada wants to see you. Paramahamsa, first time Prabhupada called for him, he goes in the room, does dandavat in front of Prabhupada. Now he's chanting shlokas, all kinds of nice shlokas, glorifying his spiritual master. He was so happy. And then Prabhupada gave him some instruction. A little later on, call Paramahamsa. I go get Paramahamsa, he goes into the room. This is in Juhu. Does his dandavat pranams. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastaya, and then Om Agyanantamidandasya. He starts chanting. He's in ecstasy before Srila Prabhupada. A little later on, the third time, call Paramahamsa. I call Paramahamsa, we go in the room together. I offer obeisances. Paramahamsa, flat down on the ground, starts chanting. Prabhupada says, get up. How are we going to get anything done? You lying on the floor. Don't waste a second with Srila Prabhupada. He had business to do, Krishna's business. He said, get up. Didn't want to see these dandava. Every time you come in, you're going to do this? I have to sit and wait for you? He saw us sleeping. Perth, Australia. I was just there, 50th anniversary, Perth, Australia. They arranged, please come. And I went there. That was the start of this trip, May 7th. It doesn't end until July 27th in Lithuania at a festival, somehow or other, filled in all 80 days. It's another little Prabhupada sense of humor. Think it was easy? It wasn't easy for us traveling with Prabhupada when we were in our 20s. He did it 15 times around the world. He didn't stop for 10 years. Every day we're saying, oh, I can't wait to get back to Vrindavan. And Vrindavan's not easy. But traveling, 7 countries, 25 temples and places, 25 different people cooking for you all over the world. Not easy. Prabhupada traveled with his servant. He cooked for him every day. It's necessary. And Prabhupada's sense of humor to his Sruto, his Sruta Kirti. See what it's like in your 70s to do what he did. Not possible for any ordinary person to do. Impossible to do. Just for a few months, so difficult. So we go to Perth back then, 1975. He spent 10 days there waiting for the Melbourne temple, new temple to be opened, and the installation of Gaur Nitai. So in Perth, it was just myself, Paramahamsa Swami, 2 local young brahmacharis were there, and a godbrother of mine, Amoga. We get there, it was just a little house, little cottage, just a few blocks from the beach. We arrived there, Prabhupada says, what's the program? He said to Amoga, he was the senior devotee there. What's the program? So I always thought, just like here, when Prabhupada was here, Shyamasundar arranged programs every evening, darshan, different people. I always forget the name of the race car driver. that time who was here. Prabhupada talked to him about the combustion engine. Talked to him about the combustion engine just so he'd become attracted to Srila Prabhupada. Huh? That's all you had to do. You did that. That was the success of your life, to develop some affection for Srila Prabhupada, for Krishna's pure devotee. Of course, we know George Harrison came. Another big musician at that time, Donovan. Probably none of you have ever heard of him, Donovan. He was another one. Ravi Shankar came one night. So many people were coming. So when Prabhupada said, what's the program? Amoga's thinking, well, we can arrange. Prabhupada said, no, what's the program? The morning program. Mangalarti. Not because we're in this little house, there's no deities, no altar, not even a photograph of Panchatattva. He said, what's the program? Mangalarti, class. He wanted that to go on. Don't waste time. Don't waste your precious time, because it disappears very quickly. Australia, like here, wonderful milk products. Wonderful milk products. Cream, clotted cream, sour creams, cheeses, beautiful golden ghee. Oh, I was cooking every day. Nice offering for the Lord. Prabhupada was taking, we were all taking, filling up our bellies, nice rich prasadam. So one afternoon, bell rings. I'm dreaming, sleeping, dreaming. I'm hearing the bell in my dream. Finally, I woke up, run into Prabhupada's room. My eyes, I'm trying to exercise my eyelids before I go in there. He already knows I'm sleeping. You can't hide anything from your spiritual master. He knows all about you all the time. I'm offering obeisances. I've been ringing this bell for hours. Get up. Why are you sleeping? We just traveled 20 hours on a plane. You can't say that to him. You can't say, well, Prabhupada, we've been traveling. He's up. That's what he would say. Why are you sleeping? I'm not sleeping. Let me see. He did that with Guru Kripa in Vrindavan, 1 o'clock in the morning. Rang the bell. I get up because I'm right next to his room. Call Guru Kripa. I had to go to the guest house. Prabhupada wants to see you. He's sleeping. Guru Kripa's sleeping. We're all sleeping 1 o'clock in the morning, except for Srila Prabhupada. He's translating Srimad Bhagavatam. He goes in the room, offers obeisances. Prabhupada says, what are you doing? Oh, resting, Prabhupada. Why? He says, I'm up. Guru Kripa said, Prabhupada, you're a Paramahamsa. Why aren't you a Paramahamsa? He broke him down in tears. No one ever saw him in tears, that devotee. He never saw him in tears. Broke him in tears. Then he'd say, okay, go take rest. He didn't say that to me there in Perth. Why are you sleeping? Where are the others? Call them. I called them. Prabhupada wants to see you. The new boys, they thought, oh, Prabhupada wants to see us. They were happy. They didn't know what it meant. Prabhupada wants to see you. Wasn't a good thing. It was a good thing, but a lot of times you're going to get chastised. Huh? Prabhupada wants to see you. They, oh, Prabhupada wants to see us. We all go in. Why are you sleeping all like dead men? Sleeping like dead men, he would say. He said the karmis. Prabhupada called them karmis, like we do, karmis. Karmis, he said, they're working very hard for their sense gratification. No, not the devotees, eating and sleeping very nicely like dead men. He looked at us. Go on, go back and sleep. Ooh, yes. We'll go back to the room. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. No more sleeping. Then the bell rings again. I go back in the room. I think, now what? He never knew, Prabhupada, now. He said, call them. Yes, Prabhupada. I go back in the room. Said, Prabhupada wants to see you. They weren't so eager this time to see Srila Prabhupada. Going to get chastised again. Not so happy. So Prabhupada wants to see you. We all go back into Prabhupada's room. Behind us, the other wall, Prabhupada's looking at little bookcases there. What's on the bookshelf? You see Prabhupada's room upstairs? What's in the bookcases? His books. Nothing else. No Time magazine. No mundane books. No encyclopedias. His books. Wherever you went, there was a bookshelf with his books on the bookshelf. And it grew every month, like expanded. Every month, another book, another book, another book. Then 17 volumes of Chaitanya Charitamrita, boom, like that. So he looked at the one young brahmachari. Said, get a book. He looked behind him. He sees Prabhupada, a dozen of Prabhupada's book. Which book, Prabhupada? Any book. So he gets a book. Prabhupada says, read. Where, Prabhupada? Anywhere. Prabhupada's books. Anywhere. Open up a book and read. Don't waste time. Don't sleep. Prabhupada said in me to Mayapur, just after lunch, sitting in his bed, right after lunch. I hate sleep, he said. Just a waste of time. Don't get anything done sleeping. I hate sleep. Wasting my time. And then he laid down in the bed and put the covers over his head. But that's the feeling devotee has. Just wasting my time. If I'm not doing something, somehow serving Krishna, I'm wasting my time. Every moment. That's what we learn from Prabhupada. Every moment engaged in Krishna's service. Not 1 second wasted. Every moment. Otherwise, you're just wasting this human form of life. And he says there's no guarantees. Sometimes he says there's guarantees. You come back as human, your next life, if you're not finished. He would say that, but then sometimes he would say there's no guarantee what's going to happen, right? On a morning walk in Hawaii, 1975, Paramahamsa's secretary. We're on the morning walk, I have the microphone, and Prabhupada's saying that if you don't finish your business in this life, you become 10% Krishna conscious. Next life, you start at 11%. You take birth in a nice, wealthy family in India, devotee family in India. He says like that. My godbrothers are poking me. In India? We got to take birth in India? We had feared India so much. Malaria, jaundice, dysentery, colitis, over and over. It was like multiple choice illnesses. What's wrong with you now? What disease do you have this week? Sometimes you would live right next to the toilet. So quick. You had to get there so quickly. Most embarrassing thing in your life, dysentery. So Prabhupada's on the morning walk and he says, we don't finish our business, we'll take birth in India next life as a devotee. We're in a wealthy family. We're thinking, oh no, we've got to take birth in India after all this hard work. So we get in the car. Prabhupada's in the front seat next to the driver. And the three of us or in the back seat. Say in America, there was a show when I was a kid, the Three Stooges. I don't know if you ever heard of Three Stooges. That was us, Three Stooges in the back seat behind Prabhupada. And they're poking me. Somehow or other, I became the oldest devotee in Prabhupada's entourage. They're ask Prabhupada, do we have to take birth in India? It was a real concern. I say, you ask him, your question. No. Ask Prabhupada. So I'm behind him. It's easier to ask him questions when you're not looking directly into his face. So finally I said, Prabhupada, on the walk this morning, you were saying, if we don't finish our business, we have to take birth, a nice family in India. He said, yes. I said, does it have to be India? He said, oh no, now we have temples all over the world. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhupada. We were so afraid of taking birth in India. Now to live there, chaos. India's chaos everywhere. But we think if those bombs come, that's the place to be. They know how to live without electricity, without water. Everywhere else in the world, they won't know how to survive. Walking down 89 flights of stairs from some pigeonhole apartment in New York City, $5,000 a month to live in a closet, New York City. But India, they know chaos. No petrol, no water, no electricity, no problem. You just sit there comfortably and chant. Whatever happens, happens. That's India. That's India. So it's a place to be when the cow dung hits the fan. India is a place to be. So we're already, you see it says 8:30 here. They said, it says 8:45 here. We have a few minutes left. Anyone has any questions, comments, corrections? I'll be giving class tomorrow morning, I think, as well. Yes?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for sharing so many wonderful memories of Srila Prabhupada. I was wondering if you could share something, your most memorable memory of you being here with Srila Prabhupada.
Yes, I can. Yeah, I was with him at 1973. He was here just about 2 months, other than when he went to Paris for the deity installation. One of my favorite memories are right here, right upstairs in Prabhupada's room. His room's a little different now with the carpet, wall-to-wall carpeting on his floor. At that time, it was this beautiful hardwood floor, which is, I'm sure it's still under the carpets. And by those windows, where the rocking chair is that rocking chair there. That's where he would get his massage. You see some pictures, Prabhupada getting massage. I'm in one of those pictures, giving Prabhupada massage. So we were here. I had been his servant for a year. I became his servant Janmashtami, right after Janmashtami, 72. So now it's Janmashtami times 73. And I'm giving him massage his head, sandalwood oil, then the rest of his body with mustard oil. You massaged him until he gave you the nod to go to the next part of his body. So then I'm massaging his back. That was where most of the massage went, in his back. So I'm massaging his back. And he gives a little nod, and I go to the side, and I knock the bottle of mustard oil over. He would always say, imagine you're doing this 5, 6 times. Each time he would say, put the cap on the bottle. That's how careful he was. Every detail. Every detail. And I didn't. And I knocked the bottle over. He picked it up before I could even get to it. But oil spilled on the floor, the hardwood floor. Oh, and he yelled, "You fool! You'll be intelligent when you're 80. Then he said, go get a katuri. The closet next to his room, that was the kitchen I cooked in every day. We looked in there the other day. Someone had the key. I wanted to see it. I told her, I said, that's where I cooked for Prabhupada. Just a little light on the top, a bucket of water. Of course, there was nothing up there, no water, no, yes. Somehow they made a little gas stove, put the cooker. He wanted me never to be far away. So kind he was to me. Keep me close, out of trouble. So I went in, I got the cup, the Katuri, I go in, and to me, he's visibly upset. And he says, do as I'm doing. Another wonderful, wonderful statement. That's our only business, to do as he's doing. To do like your guru's doing. He would say that, do as I'm doing. He would tell the GBC, do as I'm doing. He said, do as I'm doing. He stuck his hand in the mustard oil and scraped it into the cup. So the two of us for the next few minutes. And he doesn't say anything anymore. He just has this look. You know, Prabhupada could have a very grave look on his face. Even if he wasn't grave, he looked grave all the time. You know, and he was scraping. And we do that. And then there's a shiny spot, but all the oil was in the cup, the mustard oil. Then he looked at me. He said, now massage me with that oil. Well, that hurt even more. We say, what? Insult to injury. You're already, I'm ready to die. I can hardly breathe. Your heart's ready to stop beating, being chastised by him. And he tells me to use that oil from the floor to massage him. Many lessons there. One, you don't waste anything of Krishna's, huh? You don't leave lights on. You don't leave fans on. You don't watch water drip and leave it on. Don't waste anything, because it's all Krishna. See? I don't see like that. He saw that everywhere. Krishna, Krishna, everything Krishna, Krishna. So I massaged him with that oil. Sometimes little fuzzy things in it, little specks, I'm rubbing, and and he's just sitting there. Doesn't say a word. And now my head's spinning. I feel like Lord Indra put the whole cloud bank there in the room. It was just heavy, heavy. It was so heavy in the room. And I'm thinking, what can I say? What can I say to make it better? I never thought, just say you're sorry, it won't happen again. Those words, they never came out of my mouth with Prabhupada. Every time he chastised me, I never said that. It won't happen again, Srila Prabhupada. Probably because I knew it would happen again. So I never said those words. I'm sorry, it will never happen again. But I'm thinking, and I've been with him for a year. And I go to the chest, rubbing, and then start massaging his legs, one leg, and his foot, and the other leg, and time's running out, and he's sitting there, and the Tulsi gold necklace you have upstairs in his bathroom around his neck, his Brahmin thread around his waist from a massage. And I thought carefully, you'll be intelligent when you're 80. So I'm massaging his feet. And I said, Prabhupada. He looked at me. I said, thank you. I thought it would take a lot longer for me to become intelligent. He started laughing and laughing and laughing, and his whole body was shaking, and he's slapping his leg and laughing, and tears are coming down his eyes. He said, very good. Very good. He said, we would say that when we were children. Somebody did something foolish. We say, you'll be intelligent when you're 80. He said, and I've used it on you. So I took it as a blessing. I just turned 74 3 days ago. I have 6 more years. I'm waiting for the day to get some intelligence, because we're all fools. He would say, you fool, you rascal, you malecha, you nonsense. That's what he would say to us. He would praise you to other people. He would never praise you directly. I heard 3 different people tell me I made first-class sandesh. He never told me I made first class sandesh. I heard it from Janani Vas a few months ago. Prabhupada said, who's made this? He said, Srutakirti. He said, oh, first class. I said, oh, thank you. I just found out 50 years later Prabhupada liked my sandesh. So anyway, Prabhupada's words, they all ring true. He told me that I was 22 years old. So it's been a long, long, long time ago, 52 years ago. So I just have a few more years. My wife tries to keep me healthy so I'll live to be 80. I can become intelligent. In the meantime, just try to do a little service. This is our business. Just do a little service. All right, I think we should stop here. We'll be here tomorrow. Hope to see you all again tomorrow morning. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
I've got his books if anyone wants to buy any.
And where would you be?
I'm here. Temple. Can you just make a big announcement? Cash and card.
Hare Krishna, just a quick short announcement. If anyone would like a copy of Shruti Kirti Prabhu's book, What is the Difficulty? Anita will be here in the temple room. She's accepting cash card, favors, PayPal, Bitcoin, the whole lot. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Have you seen we've locked not being able to view any other webpage? If you try and open up Facebook, you're not brave. You don't want to do it. Serious. I'm telling you, man. I'm with you, man. Try it. Try it.
The other day I was getting class and they couldn't
I
open
know, I'm so sorry. That was me. Yeah, I was trying to do the same thing.
sometimes even like Prabhupada will come up on like Monday mornings in this browser. So it's like you have to search Google what's the Facebook?
So if you put in Facebook, like we say, search for it, so that'll work, and then click on the link for it.
Really that? Oh, hey, this is good stuff. Do this. What you're doing basically, you come on the website with it, look, and goes to Krishna Mandir. Which one? This? Only this one? Only
Anything. Only Veda base, KK songs, and Prabhupada Vani.
On this?
Yeah. Is there anyone else?
Dandavats.com. Dandavats.com.
Anything.